Welcome to our photo diary. This is from our Septober holiday 2018. 28th of September, Pendreek. I picked Lindsay up from work and we headed for something to eat. Then with a quiet road ahead of us, we pushed on and passed our bland stop and on beyond Perth to Pendreek Forest Car Park, Bridge of Allen. As we parked up, a police car toured the car park but did not bother us. So time for a copper and off to bed. 29th of September, Kirby Lonsdale. We left the forest after breakfast and headed for Kirby Lonsdale and a spot I knew many years ago as the Caravan. It was a place my parents used to stop for a break as we headed from Liverpool to Sunderland. The place is the same and it's even the same caravan, over 50 years old. We had a large bat with bacon cheeseburger in it, absolutely lovely, and then wandered around the area and Lindsay visited Rushkin's viewpoint. We decided he needed to get out more. We settled in for the evening, but as the road quieted and the sun set, the T5 doors became louder. I wish they'd find a way to quieten them down. After a dram and a cuppa, it was once again time to head off. We headed off to bed, ready for the next day and our journey further south. 30th of September, Mooch Docking. Breakfast this morning was a breakfast bap from the Caravan. Lunch was a rich tea biscuit. That should be all we need to say about breakfast. There are no details of the park up for this stop as we are mooch docking on a friend's driveway in Widnes for a couple of nights. We drove down the motorway of mayhem and noise until we finally arrived. We had a lovely dinner with Brian, Val, Tom and Dot and chatted and laughed the evening away. We had a early night as we headed to see the Terracotta Warriors tomorrow. 1st of October, still mooch docking. We were up and breakfasted early. Brian had offered his services as tour guide in the morning and Lindsay wanted to see the cathedrals. We first visited the older Anglican Cathedral, which was pretty much as you would expect. Then we went to the Metropolitan Cathedral, locally known as Paddy's Wigwam. I remember the controversy about this building being during construction, but to me it is a far nicer space and not overtly in your face as a normal church. Lindsay did not take many photos, so you will need to watch the video to see for yourselves. After an early lunch, it was time for the main event, the Terracotta Warriors exhibition. We were in the exhibit for nearly 2 hours. The exhibits were fantastic and we took longer than most going around. We also visited the aquarium and the Egyptian exhibit after leaving the Warriors, and then while waiting for Brian to pick us up, Lindsay had a quick look at the library building. We headed back to Widnes via the marina, which has replaced the docks. Both of these are available on a separate video. 2nd of October, Boningale. Well, today did not go to plan, as you can see from the photos you've been watching. We headed off from Widnes, heading towards Boningale, our planned stopover. However, after a few miles, Lindsay spotted some signs for Llangollen and a certain aqueduct, so suddenly we are off canal hunting. We eventually found some parking and went to see the Pontcysyllte aqueduct. I will be testing on pronunciation later. To my great surprise, Lindsay went out over the aqueduct without any bother, despite her fear of heights. We were entertained by narrowboats causing mayhem by not knowing what to do. This included some full-time liveaboards as well as hire boats. After lunch we headed off to Bridgnorth. Here we did not stay long as it has changed a lot since we lived there, but did manage to empty the cassette. Then it was on to Boningale for the night, where we went to the local pub for a meal. At this point I have to point out we witnessed extreme gluttony. Yes, it was us. It was a lovely meal and we retired back to Desmond feeling rather full. And we slept very well that night. 3rd of October, Blissfield Reservoir. We were up and headed for the museum at RAF Cosford. I did enjoy the museum and visiting some of my old haunts, but there was a large hole in the story they are telling. The main attraction is the Cold War hangar, but it concentrates on the V-Force, air defence and some transport. There was very little on anti-submarine warfare and the role of Shackleton, Nimrod, etc. To be honest, it was as if the whole chunk of history was missing. This was not the only mission, and I left feedback with the curators. We did manage to spend most of the day wandering around the displays though. We headed off to top off water at Cannock Chase, then onto a car park at Blithfield Reservoir. Lindsay wombled and we had our first big sunset of the trip. Of October, White-esque. When we woke up we found to our disgust that the local worthies had dumped a load more rubbish overnight. Lindsay wombled again before we moved off. We are headed for the National Memorial Arboretum today. We found it a very moving place and we stayed much longer than we intended. I would advise anyone planning a trip to research beforehand and find the bits that you are particularly interested in before you go. I personally found the train tours distasteful, made the whole thing like a fair ride. We left heading north. Our planned stop outside Gretna was unsuitable, so we headed on to the Forest car park at the White-esque near Dore Castle for a peaceful night, only to be interrupted by owls. 5th of October, North Cranach. We headed north again for a planned spot at Loch Rannoch for the weekend, the North Cranach. On arrival there was another van, but there is plenty of room here for more. Another van ride and we chatted with the other folk. One was planning a fire, but I was tired and needed an early night. A dram helped me off to sleep in this lovely, lovely spot. 6th of October, North Cranach. Today was planned as a restful day at North Cranach, Loch Rannoch, and that is basically what we managed. We wandered the area, chatting to the folk from the other vans, and we chilled. We videoed, photographed, and I flew the drone for the first time this week. In essence, we achieved our goal of a peaceful lochside day. Lindsay wombled and picked up several bags of rubbish and a bag of human waste left by a guy with 2 kids in the next car park. The thing to teach your kids. We watched a lovely sunset and relaxed into the evening. Seventh of October, home. Well, the day I always dread is here, and it's time to head for home and to prepare for our next trip. Thank you for watching this week's photo diary, and we hope you'll join us next time for more Desmond Stodders.